Hello, everybody. On tonight's show, after previewing every conference except the Ivy League, we're 4 days away from tip-off, and you knew we weren't going to let this season start without a betting preview. Recording live from somewhere, this is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that Green Screens Media train. Welcome to the One and Done betting preview powered by drroto.com. I am your humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich, the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens Media train. Find me on X at Dr. William Cannon. Let's get right to my broskies in basketball. Two of the best in the business to do it, starting with El Capitan himself. He is the captain of the Green Screens Media ship and stayed up until the wee hours of the morning watching exhibition games and looking at exhibition box scores from Northern Illinois and Radford because he is a sick individual. Follow him on X at MC Holland34. The OG buddy Mike, that's Mr. Mike Holland. What it do, baby?
I am ready. I will probably stay up till midnight or 1 again. And every night, this is like the kid in Christmas, right? Just counting down the days. But we have our first DFS slate coming up on Monday. It's a 12-gamer on opening night, 10K to first. So I do have a satellite ticket to that, working on grabbing some more. And who knows how many lineups I am going to throw in that thing. Hopefully, I will not be broke by Tuesday. But yeah, I'm excited because the following Monday I have 12 tickets to that one and the $15, so almost 200.
Not one, not two,
entries.
not three.
Yes, let's
12,
get it going,
boys.
I'm excited, man. Let's get it popping.
Absolutely, and of course, last in the intros, but first in your hearts, he's the Baron of Bread of Green Screens Media that you can find in those Twitter streets at Fantasy Nav. He's Eric the Blue. That's Eric Roloff. What's happening?
Tick tock goes the clock. We are inside of 5 days now. Because of that, we are continuing our top 20 countdown. Number 4 is live and posted. We'll be dropping those as we get up to the celebration of the first game of the college basketball season. And like Mike mentioned, we've got our first DFS slate to cover, right? Not everyone is like Mike. Not everyone is going to be max entering on tickets that they won in qualies leading up to it. But for those of you that want to reach into your wallet and put a couple of bucks into your lineup, I'm going to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to see that turn into some green screens. And one person that is going to be in prime position, one of our ride or dies as we've been going through these previews, checking in for a little bit of betting advice, none other than our resident Kalen Creedle. Let's get it right on in the veins. Appreciate you swinging through.
What's up, Kalen? Thanks for checking in. We appreciate that. Appreciate all of you for hanging out with us tonight as well. We see you hanging out there in the lobby. Just drop a comment in the chat. Just say what's up. Even if it's your first time hanging out, say what's up. We'll throw it up on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Hit those like and subscribe buttons if you like what you hear. And follow our guy at The Real Napier, our guy Chris, doing some digital stuff for us, doing a little behind the scenes as well. Make sure you give him a follow. You see all the X handles there on your screen. Follow those. Follow at Get Green Screens on X and TikTok. And then, of course, at One and Done CBB is the show page. Smash those follow buttons over on that app that used to have a bird on it. Now it's just the letter X, whatever. Okay. All right. Like and subscribe. Do your thing. But we are here to talk betting, of course. You are here because this is our betting preview. The DK Sportsbooks odds is what we are going with on these figures tonight. You're going to hear a lot of numbers going on. So why don't we just jump right into the conference that we previewed most recently, the creme de la creme, the Big 12. I'm going to start with Mike. Let us know who your pick to, not necessarily who your pick, the bet that you like the most here in terms of the Big 12 and who is going to come out on top of this fine and dandy conference. Ooh, graphics up right there. Very nice. Very good.
All right. So I guess I can't be the resident homer, right? And
You
call out
could.
Texas at plus. I guess I could, but my monies would say, Kansas plus 200. I'll take that. I mean, we talked about it the other day, right? Like Coach Self just feels like he is going to pencil his name in on that Big 12 regular season championship trophy. 17 regular season titles since 2004. Ridiculous. Hunter Dickinson comes in, got a nice core coming. It feels like they win it every year. So even though I'm a Texas homer, Jay, you know this, man. Like, it just seems like you can almost pencil them at least for a share of this thing. Eric, man, what are your thoughts?
Man, I am right there with you. Whenever we talk about futures, I'm not the biggest fan of betting the favorites outright, but I think Kansas is favored for good reason, right? You laid out a lot of those. Obviously, Dickinson coming in, just is a perfect match for what Self wants to do. The core of this roster is largely intact. We love that experience. And, the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge, I was looking for a few places, rather at a few teams to get a bit more value. But looking at the schedule specifically, there are a couple of teams in the Big 12 towards the top of the Big 12 that Kansas only plays once, and they play them at home. They get Baylor at home. They get Texas at home. And since this is a regular season title, I think that's just enough of an edge to put me on the Kansas hype train alongside Mike. Jay, you sweeping it with us? We're gonna go rock chalk right off the top.
Real exciting, guys, going chalk on the first pick of the whole betting show. Way to go. Edge of your seat stuff there, gentlemen. I'm going with Mike's Baylor Bears at plus 700. Listen, the last 4 seasons in this conference, Baylor has won 11, 14, 13, and 15 games. Scott Drew knows how to coach. He flat out knows that he knows how to coach. However how you feel about Scott Drew, the guy, set it aside when we're talking about our monies here. All right, put that to the side. The man can coach. Ray J. Dennis showing up. Ray J. saying, "Sexy, can I bring you my handles?" He's coming on, gonna do his thing there. And then Jacoby Walter, 5-star guy, coming in to Waco. And I'm going to lean Baylor here at plus 700. Kaylin, jumping back into the comments here. What do we got? Baylor.
Kaylin's right there with you.
Yes,
riding with the Bears. And Kaylin's ready to get in. Kaylin is a resident of Maine. They just legalized sports gambling on November the 1st. So Kaylin, you're about to head into a whole new kind of season. Glad that you're riding with us here on the betting preview show. This is going to be a fun one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, be with us for the ups and downs. Be ready, my friend. All right, that's the Big 12. Few picks there. Of course, my broskies go chalk. That's okay. That's fine. That's okay. I might do the same here very soon. Might do the same very soon. Who knows? But now moving on. Let's go to the ACC now. Some interesting options here. Some teams that, made the title game one season and then failed to make the tournament the next, and I'm supposed to take them seriously now. I don't know. Mike, why don't you lead us off here in the ACC?
How about I take that thought and I shove it down your throat, Jay, because I'm going North Carolina plus 450. Hey, I love what they did this offseason surrounding Baycott with, Caleb Love going west, bringing in my guy Ingram from Stanford. Cormac Ryan's going to be awesome. Elliot Cadeau is going to be a star next to RJ Davis. So plus 450. Like, this is a team that could legitimately be a top 10, top 15 type team. They're primed for that redemption tour. Eric, are you riding with me on this one as well?
No, actually, I'm going the exact opposite direction. I'm going for my first and arguably my longest shot of the show tonight. I'm going Wake Forest. 3,500.
Right.
Look, this is a spot, right? Like, if I'm talking about units here, this is probably like a half, a quarter unit kind of bet. But looking at the ACC, it's been kind of down the last few years. We've had some surprising winners in recent memories. Coach Forbes has really managed to overachieve with his rosters. Double-digit conference games last year on the docket, and it sounds crazy, but like he's loaded up with those guards through the transfer portal, right? Like we see them pop, like he's been able to do these last few years, and maybe just maybe we see Wake Forest sneak in there. So not necessarily the most.
Okay, stop this guy. Just stop him.
Value on 3,500. They're the eighth highest, rather the eighth shortest odds in the conference.
Hey, listen.
Or the seventh longest.
I the seventh longest. Yeah, which one is close?
On the bottom.
I think that when you talk about the transfer portal, and that's when when we're looking at these, when we're making these decisions, coming into this, and it's like we don't necessarily know how this is going to gel. Is Caleb Love going to be the biggest example of addition by subtraction that we've seen in a while? And that's not a knock on him. I mean, in terms of how he gels with the rest of the players in Chapel Hill, he's going to, he'll be fine. But what I'm saying is it might happen. There's just so much uncertainty with this transfer portal. So because of that, uncertainty, Duke. I'm gonna go with Duke.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. Mr. Chalk
gave us a hard time.
Whatever. Well, plus 130 here. Listen, when you had the best roster in the country, where are you going? Where else are you going in this conference? It's the best, top to bottom, best roster in the country. Filipowski and Proctor arguably could be in the league right now. Okay, let's not no bones about it here. Jeremy Roach back to run the point. Coach Shire in year 2 now. It's all lining up for the Dukies, baby.
It's unbelievable,
plus
baby.
Plus 130. All right. It's the ACC. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us right now. Let us know in the comments who you like in the Big 12 and the ACC, the two teams, or the two conferences, I should say, that we have already covered tonight. Drop those right there in the live chat.
Tell Eric you're not going to blow your money on 30 that plus the 3,500 Wake Forest.
Hey, he said a half a quarter unit, I think, is the exact phrasing. Dude. So I'm willing to drop
1/8 of 1 unit. What are you going to do?
A half a quarter. I was told there would be no math. But make sure you drop that in the live chat or the comments if you're watching us afterwards. But if you are watching us live, thanks for hanging out with us. We see you out there in the lobby. Drop us a line in the chat, and we'll put it up on the screen like we like to with our pal Caitlin. Pac-12 now. West Coast is the best coast, baby. Heading out west. Some interesting choices here. A lot of different ways to go. I don't, Arizona sitting there as the favorite right now at plus 200. I'm not necessarily looking that direction, but why don't we start with Mike here again? Right. And what's the value that you like here, Mike?
I'm going to go with Colorado, plus 700. I feel like that is a sweet spot in this conference. I got some question marks about Arizona. I do like their roster. USC got some question marks as well. UCLA, we have no idea what their foreign team's going to look like. So we got to see these cats on the court. But I love KJ Simpson, Tristan Da Silva. And then Cody Williams, the 5-star, could be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. So I think Colorado's got all the makings of being, I wouldn't even say a surprise team, but just a team that's just going to be very strong. And for 7-1, I mean, that's great value for me, Eric. What do you got in this one, man? You going chalky, or are you giving us another 20-1 bomb or 30-1 bomb here?
Yeah, I'm not quite swinging for the fences. I'm also not quite going the favorite. I like how this lines up for USC. Right, plus 300, like nice price on that overall. This backcourt is absolutely elite, right? Like we've talked about Boogie Ellis ad nauseum. He's one of the players that we featured on our top 20 countdown. Go check those out if you haven't already. We've also got 5-star freshman Isaiah Collier coming in, and you just kind of you look at the landscape of the Pac-12, soon to be deuce and a quarter, and like there's question marks around UCLA. Obviously, Arizona is the betting favorite, but they don't look like they're kind of prolific Arizona teams of late. So I think there's a window here, and you've got Coach Andy Enfield, making some waves with these Trojans, right? He's run 14, and 15 games in the league these last 3 years. Really like them to hold that trajectory and actually push over the top and take down the league crown this year. Jay, tell us why you decided to bet on Mark Madsen and Cal to win the Pac-12.
You know what? I honestly like 5,000 plus 5,000. I mean, if you want to put a half a
That's
piece,
a good number.
a quarter, eighth of a whatever, it's a really good number.
Do the dance. That's what we want.
Oh yeah, Mark Madsen, yeah. Get my Madsen dancing. If you haven't been following along, every time Cal is mentioned, I'm hitting the Mark Madsen dance, and I'm telling you that I believe they will win 20 games this season. I'm really on board with what Mark Madsen will be doing in Cal. They are not my choice, however, in terms of where I'll be putting my money. That is quack, quack. Get that money back. We're going with Oregon at plus 900. You cannot count out Coach Dana Altman and those Ducks. If we're talking about longer shots, obviously looking at the fifth best value here, but still a little bit farther out there. Plus 900, we're getting up there a little bit. I like the value here. A lot of freshman firepower, obviously. Every time I talk about Oregon, I'm talking about Jackson Shelstad, who I've been hyping up, somebody I think that I feel can contend for Pac-12 Newcomer of the Year, and I spent so much time talking about Shelstad that I don't mention Mookie Cook enough, bringing in some ability there as a freshman. Nate Biddle is a breakout candidate, big man there for the Ducks, former 5-star back in the Dizzy. So I will go with Oregon. But gentlemen, are we like nobody picked or Arizona? Like, are we?
Everybody's scared of the Caleb Love effect.
Are we thinking about? Are we thinking about March here? Or are we thinking about Caleb Love here? Or are we thinking of a combination of the two here?
I think it's just a value for me. I don't know. If it was 3-1, I'd like it a little bit more. I don't know.
Sort of in that USC range right now, you might like the Arizona play a little better. Yeah. Understood. Yeah, understood. It doesn't help that some people had Arizona winning the whole thing last year, and then they, obviously they did not. Some people had them. Some people believed in them, but who knows who that was. Anyways, who do you guys like that are watching? Guys and gals, of course, that are watching with us tonight. Who do you like in the Pac-12? Leave us a comment. Like and subscribe if you're liking what you're seeing and hearing through your part in the Green Screens Media universe, as we are doing the one and done betting preview tonight, powered by drroto.com. Was out west. Now we're going all the way back across, whichever way is east for you. We're going to the Big East. This is a conference where I think we're going to have a little bit of fun here. Mike, Who are you looking at right now for the Big East?
This should be no surprise if you listen to the way I talk about this team. It's going to be the old Creighton Blue Jays plus 300. Give me that. A foul away from a Final Four. A big three's back. Shireman, Alexander, Kalkbrenner, and I believe Stephen Ashworth is going to be one of the most impactful transfers in the entire country. Going to be a household name by the time we get to March. And these guys are getting it done in the Big East. Eric, come along for the ride, man. I've been talking to you guys about this. Come on. Come on with me.
I was looking long and hard at that Creighton number. Plus 300 is a nice price on them. I ended up going for something a little bit juicier, and by a little bit, I mean literally twice as much. I like this Villanova price at plus 600, right? Like, you've got Coach Neptune heading into his second year. Got his sea legs now. Got a season under his belt. More comfortable holding the head man's clipboard. But also, this team in general, one of the oldest teams in the country, right? Like, we talk ad nauseum over the course of our conference previews how much we value veteran experience, time in the system. So, this team has that in spades. And we've got the core of Justin Moore and Eric Dixon back, right? Justin Moore barely made his way back into playing shape coming off that Achilles injury last year. Now, more time removed from that, should be full strength. And also they went out and completely nailed it in the transfer portal. They added in Tyler Burton from Richmond. It really feels like this team has it all. Obviously, they're coming off a down year, but I mean, I think they have a better than 15% chance to win the Big East, and their odds are creating some value because of that. So, like the Creighton call, definitely, one to consider as well. But I think Villanova just opens up so much opportunity. Jay, you creeping back up towards the chalkier picks here, or are you going a little further down the board?
Negativo, my friend. We're going down the board, and why not? Why not St. John's at plus 1,500?
They lost the pace in the exhibition.
We can't.
Those
One
don't matter.
show we say we're not.
We established those don't matter.
Okay, all right.
They lost. All right. St. John's. This honestly, looking up and down these odds for a while. This might be my favorite long shot in any conference. Just anybody with a number this high. Are we really going to count out Petito in year one anywhere? I mean, look what this roster completely turned over. Joel Soriano is there, the man, the myth, the legend. He stuck around, and then Patino comes into town and then brings in Jordan Dingle, Chris Ledlam, bunch of mid-major stars coming in. This is going to be a gauntlet of a conference. We know that. Nobody is a sure thing, though. Talking about Marquette, the favorite here, plus 220. None of us are picking them. We don't like that value necessarily, and nobody really thought they would be there at the start of last season. Here's the deal. Why not St. John's in this moment? I love that number. Throw a unit and a half on it if you want to. I will be, and this to me, I just love this bet so much.
Man, heavy betting there, a unit and a half. But look, I mean, you're not going to find me betting against Coach Patino at any point. But the thing I wanted to mention about this conference is what you brought up towards the end. Marquette, the favorite at 220. Is anyone going to go out and actually place any money on that when you got UConn, you got Creighton, you got Villanova looking up at them? Like they should be like plus 350 at minimum before I'm even considering that line.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just, I'm in a conference where you look at it like that. It's just St. John. Look at you were talking about juicy. You said you got juicier, Eric. You said yours got juicy. Mine is like flame broiled, just dripping, like ready.
Whopper.
All right, St. John's. Believe it. Now to my favorite conference in the world.
God. Here we go.
The Big Ten, who somehow got 27 teams into the tournament last year. I don't know how, but they did it. And then none of them did anything except the one that you knew was going to go far anyway. But that's not the point. We're talking about this season now. And might as well just keep it rolling and start with Mike again here. Who do you got for the Big Ten?
Give me Michigan State and Coach H to the Izzo. I think this is the best roster in the conference. Sorry, Purdue fans. Love the guards. Love the freshmen. Booker, Fierce, Carr. You saw that dunk the other day. Like, just so much depth up and down this roster. And it's Izzo. What else needs to be said? I'll take 3-1 all day, Eric. 3-1. I know I'm a little chalky right now. Where are you at?
I mean, I don't know why Izzo's 3-1. Like that's a perfectly good number that I would like to attack. The thing that kept me off of that line is scrolling down a little bit further, all the way down to Indiana at plus 1,200. Like every single year, it feels like the Big Ten is wide open, right? Like it can go any number of ways. It comes down to the stretch run. So for me, I like going with a team that's young and crazy talented, right? Like the amount of 5 stars on this team. You've got Mbako, he's a potential NBA prospect. You've got Kellel Ware coming in from Oregon, former McDonald's All-American. Both of these are big body guys that can bang around, and that style of play works really well in the Big Ten. We've also got Xavier Johnson, providing leadership at the point guard. So for me, it was really more of a price thing, right? Like when we were getting ready for this show, I assumed Indiana was going to be in like the 700 to 900 range. So to see them at plus 1,200, I just had to jump all over it. Jay,
that's fair.
You had the juice last time, plus 1,500. You going juicy again here? You going to ride with me on Indiana? What are you feeling?
As Pauly Shore would say on Encino Man, no wheeze the juice. Don't wheeze the juice, baby. I am done wheezing the juice. I am taking Purdue here. I'm the one going chalk in the Big Ten because of this is not it's not affecting me like Arizona. Okay, my mind is clear, my heart is full, and I'm going with the Boilermakers here on the revenge tour yet again for Coach Painter and his squad. Zach Edey still plays college basketball, right?
He's good. He's pretty good.
He's okay. Like he's decent. All right. Last year, the guards who maybe showed at the end of the season that they weren't ready to take that step forward. They're sophomores now. They've done it for a full season, another off season underneath. I'm talking about Lawyer and Smith, of course. And my memory is not that bad. They ran away with it last year. So I'm going to go with Purdue. I mean, we're talking about betting a team to go deep into the tournament. I love Michigan State, and I always will love Michigan State because Izzo doesn't need to win the conference to show, he's just figuring it all out. He gets in, and then he goes from there, I think that he just does it differently, right? So when it comes to the Big Ten, I'm just going chalk here, and I like Purdue just because it feels like the smart player. Sometimes the smartest play is the one that's right there in front of you. If we miss anybody, you guys watching, hanging out with us right now live in the lobby, make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know if maybe, who's going to sneak up there in the Big Ten.
Northwestern.
Maybe it's Northwestern. Is that right?
Boo-booey.
Is that right? It's Boo Booey. Of course, we're referring to Boo Booey being on our top 20 countdown of returning players to the game that you can check out here on YouTube at Get Green Screens on TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever, at One and Done CBB. All this stuff's going out, so check out our top 20 countdown as well. Get in the live chat tonight. We'll flash it up on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Just say, hey, chunk up the deuce, whatever. We've said that this is fire now. So if you just wanted to drop the fire in the chat, see, we got it's getting hot. There's a lot of flamage. Here. All right. Drop it in the chat. Leave us a comment. SEC, a conference that is going to be weird down here in Austin, walking into games, seeing the SEC logo on a truck. Just like when I was at the BYU game last week and walked by their van outside and saw a Big 12 logo next to the BYU logo. This is so – we're living in crazy times, man, but let's get to the SEC where Texas will be headed after this season. Mike, where are you going? This is a tough conference, y'all. Like this is like it's not necessarily the cleanest basketball all the time, but this is a tough conference.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer shot here than what I've been tossing up some heavy favorites here. I'll go with Alabama. So I just think that the price, 8.5 to 1. I did not see that. I thought maybe closer to 6 or 7 to 1. Grant Nelson's in town. I don't know if anybody's heard of him. He's pretty good. His highlights are really fun to watch. Mark Sears, veteran back there. Aaron Estrada, he's going to be a guy that people know his name by the end of the season. Hofstra transfer. I mean, his team is just as talented as anybody in the conference. The freshman from last year that stayed didn't get a ton of minutes, but guys like Rylan Griffin, they could explode this year. So, yeah, I really like Bama at plus 850. Eric, come on, man, I gotta take you along for the ride on this one, man.
It's a nice price, but I'm going a bit more mainstream here. I like Tennessee and the fighting Rick Barnes at plus 300. this was the top defense in the country last year, right? Like, as much as we like to joke about them scoring like 40 or 50 points on any given night, like if your defense is that stout, you're going to be in every single game. And we expect that to be the case very much so again this year. We highlighted these Tennessee Volunteers as one of our big three returning stars with Vescovi, with Triple J, and of course Zakai Ziegler on his way back from injury. You know, these three together are absolute difference makers. And the thing that really put me over the top for Tennessee in particular, Dalton Connect. Like this guy is an absolute bucket. He is a guy that can come in and not necessarily have the ball in his hand a ton, but when he's in there, he can make a legitimate difference for how effective they are on the offensive end. And I feel like that was just kind of that last little piece to put him over the top. So don't mind him at 3-1 here. Jay, looking up and down the SEC, what number here is catching your eye?
Well, hold on. First of all, we're not talking about it's not double J, not JEFF, JARRE, former Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett. No, it's Triple J, Josiah Jordan James, of course, at Tennessee. Connect is like, imagine if Tennessee, if you have to play first to 70 with Tennessee, you're going to lose most nights. If Tennessee, and I'm not saying they never got up there last season. We joke a lot about how they the first to 55 with them a lot, because sometimes that's how they play. But I love this Tennessee team just in terms of like this is a team that should go ways in the tournament for me, just because of the type of and what Connect is going to bring. But I'm going Texas A&M. Those fighting Texas A&M Aggies, the most minutes returning and the most scoring returning of anybody here. I don't really understand. This is more of a thing for me where I feel like this should be in like plus 300 territory even. Get him at plus 450. Yeah, this is just – it's too good for me. Texas A&M right there. Let's move on now to the AAC after the SEC. Drop us a line in the comments if you like somebody else in the SEC. But now the AAC, man, this is a talk about a cliff at a certain point here with this conference. Mike, where are you going?
Well, it feels like a two-team race between Memphis and FAU. I don't know that I will get any cute, even with like a half of a quarter unit or whatever Eric was doing earlier. I'll go with Memphis. Memphis coming in at plus 170. I think this is the year that Penny gets over the hump. I mean, Javon Quinterly, like we just talked about the SEC, coming over from Alabama. I think he's going to be a star with major minutes. One of the top transfer classes in the country. There's just length all over the floor. No Houston. I get it, Eric. FAU, man. Like, they got everyone back, man. But I don't know. I'm trying to pull you over here to Memphis side, man. You coming along with me?
I like the Memphis side. It's absolutely it's a two-horse race, right? And for me, you know, if there was a bigger disparity in the price, I'd probably take a longer look at it. But I'm going to go uber chalk here, right? FAU plus 110. I mean, the entire team is back from this deep tournament run. Coach Dusty, we sleep in May, is so money at getting the most out of these guys. We've got John L. Davis, we've got Elijah Martin back, just a fantastic duo. And also on the whole, the conference saw a lot of talent go out the door, right? A lot of the better teams in this league are now off to the Big 12. So definitely top heavy. You know, if I'm gonna be eating some chalk, I want to go with what I believe to be the more sure thing. And that's the team that just made a very deep tournament run. So that's where I am. Jay, are you getting a little weird with this one? Or are you sticking up top with me and Mike?
No, I could get, if you want to get weird here and put a little half a piece of something on North Texas at plus 2,500, I wouldn't scoff at you, to be quite honest. But I'm actually going to side with Mike on this one. Don't normally like to just, admit that live on air, but we are going to go here, siding with the OG money, Mike, with Memphis. Part of that top transfer class is Florida State transfer Caleb Mills, obviously a very good player. Feels like a coin flip, honestly, when it comes down to it with Memphis. And when it feels like that to me, I'm going to take the better odds. So Memphis at plus 170. Mountain West. Now moving on from the AAC. Let's go back out west now. Mike, what do you got?
Man, I just hope that Mountain West basketball was as good as it was last year because we had a lot of fun and we want to stay up late and watch some awesome basketball.
Yep.
I will go with New Mexico. Ding, ding, ding. And that should be no surprise. Plus 450. I got to get this dynamic guard threat to bring me some money here with Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr., one of the best duos in the country in the backcourt. And then obviously love Coach Pitino. Mustafa Amzil and Nelly Jr. Joseph coming in to shore up the front court through the transfer portal. So there's just so much ceiling for this team. I really, really like the price on that, Eric. Come on, man. We haven't rode together since the very first conference, man. You coming with me on this one?
Nope. Look, like it's a solid bet. That backcourt is absolutely elite. But I wanted to go a little bit juicier here. So I'm going to go down to the plus 1,000 odds of UNLV. You know, the thing for me, I think we're going to see the Mountain West be a little bit more wide open than we have in recent years. And Coach Kruger, you know, went out and got some absolute dogs in the transfer portal, right? Brought in the Boone brothers, Caleb and Keelan. And I love following that storyline. I like their ability to come in and and really click and gel together. So, you know, plus 1,000 odds, I think they've got a better shot of winning the conference than that price would imply. So trying to squeeze a little bit of value out of Las Vegas, which hasn't necessarily worked for a lot of people, both in the literal and figurative sense. But the price tag caught my eye. Jay, it looks like Mike and I are kind of all over the board here. Where were you going when you head out west?
Y'all know San Diego State still plays in this conference, right? Like, are we?
Ooh.
But the prize.
No, they went to the Pac-12, right?
Listen, not yet. The soon to be Pac-2 1/4 or whatever we said earlier. Listen, no, I get it. And this number, I understand, but sometimes you just make a bet and you roll with it because you feel like it's the right move. And San Diego State, I know plus 140 doesn't jump off the board at you, but it really, this conference goes through them. Yeah, Bradley's out, but then Trammell and Butler are back in the backcourt. Trammell's out, might miss the season opener. I don't care. That doesn't affect what we're talking about here. But this is going to be one of the top defenses in the country. Jay Powell coming in from Campbell, versatile on both ends. Jaden Ledee as well. So, I mean, this is one of those things where you've just got to go with what makes the most sense. Just trust it. And I am going with San Diego State. Jumping right along now. Leave us a comment if you disagree or if you got somebody else. Like and subscribe. Tell your fellow broskies and broskets in basketball about us. Smash those buttons, and let's move on to the WCC. WCC! Mike, we're talking about this is another one where it kind of falls off the cliff here, and I don't want to hear it if you're talking about the number here. If like you were giving me hell for earlier, but this is pretty. It's a 2-horse race here, honestly, in my opinion. Which horse are you riding?
Is this the first? I guess I'm going to be the first. Minus 125, Gonzaga. Oh, ouch. Yeah, ouch. I'll be that guy. I mean, come on. Like, Jay, you said it's a 2-horse race. Like, I like Coach Few in a 2-horse race. And I also like Graham Ike and Ryan Nimhart. They're pretty good. They're coming in. And then Anton Watson, the glue guy, man. Like, man, he is so efficient on both ends of the floor. So, I get it, right? Like it's not the sexy pick, but I don't know. It's kind of like some of these other schools that we talk about where it's really hard to pick against what you know, kind of like Kansas off the top. Eric, come on, man, save me here. This is a minus 125 here.
Nope. Look, like objectively speaking, this is the right call, right? Like Gonzaga is going to win this conference. But when we talk about these very top heavy leagues, I'm not going to take minus 125 on any team to win their way through a 9-team conference. So I'll go with a little bit of juice here. I'll take St. Mary's and the Gales at plus 130. I mean, they are right there neck and neck with Gonzaga. And, this feels like it's Coach Bennett's best opportunity to take down Gonzaga. They've got Aiden Mahaney. They've got Mitchell Saxon. And, this is a team that's always strong on the defensive side. But this year in particular, it feels like they've got a little bit more offensive firepower. So, again, it's a 2-horse race, but I'm never going to pass plus odds when that's an option. So that's how I'm looking. Jay, you with actually, I kind of get the sense you're going to break the tie here, right? You're going to stick up top with these two options.
Yeah, definitely. Flip. This is almost a flip a coin thing here, and I am going to go with St. Mary's and the Gales, hopping on the St. Mary's train for an outright title this year. You can boo me. I don't even care. Boo me. Do it. Boo it.
Boo that
I
man.
can take it. I can take it. Yeah, there's too much versatility on each end. Yeah, we know it's going to be one of these two teams. Dukas is the X factor here. I'm going to take St. Mary's right there. So, all right, of course, couldn't agree with Mike too many times in one show. We don't want to be doing all of that noise. No, not at all. Last pick here. Those are all the big major conferences we wanted to cover tonight. If there's a conference we did not cover for you, maybe we could, drop us a line in the comment or find us on X or tweet at us or whatever you want to do and ask us there at One and Done CBB. You can hit us there as well. But before we get out of here, let's place a wager on someone on a team to make the Final Four. We're not going to pick a title winner, but if you're picking a team to go this far, maybe you're thinking that anyways. But we're going to pick Final Four odds here. And one more time, we'll start with the captain. Mike, where are you going?
Oh, boy. This never happens this way, but I'll go Duke plus 380 to make the Final Four. It's the best roster, man. Like you said it, like it's the best roster, but it's college basketball. Like that doesn't ever make sense. Kind of like baseball. There's just so much firepower. Like, why would I not take nearly 4-1? And we didn't talk about Mark Mitchell. Like, they have stud freshmen coming in. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches. Like,
yeah.
I mean, plus 380. Like, I'm good with that, Eric, man. Like, give the people, a shot at a little more coin, man. Who you got up there?
Yeah, I'm going a bit juicier, but I was kind of surprised at this price. Honestly, I'm looking at Miami at plus 1,000, right? Like team coming off their Final Four run. I mentioned Wake as the long shot earlier in the ACC. That was really more of a price consideration, but the Canes are good money for the conference and even better for the Final Four, right? They bring in Matthew Cleveland from Florida State. He's a complete legit contributor, perfect fit for what Coach Larraniega wants to do. And now, we've already talked about baby food, Norchad Omie. He is another player in our top 20 countdown. And then next to him, again, more guards than Shawshank, right? Like that is so important when we talk about making a deep tournament run. So I was surprised to see them with a plus 1,000 price tag. I'm happy to click that button again as we head into this season. Jay, where do we need to go on this board? We need to scroll up a little bit. We need to scroll down a little bit. Where are you looking for your Final Four bet?
Need you to get in the plus 1,200 range because I am taking the TCU Horned Frog. No.
Okay.
No. TCU Horned Frogs. I was on them last year. I am on them again this year to make a run. Jamie Dixon is the kind of leader that gets his team to and deep into tournaments. Do not count him out. Mike Miles, bye-bye. But Jameer Nelson Jr. is the new Mike Miles, okay? So we had Mike Miles Jr. Now we got Jameer Nelson Jr. doing things. Emmanuel Miller, very, very underrated for TCU. And as we know, though, the iron sharpens iron. Big 12 is going to beat each other up on a nightly basis. But then when it comes time, the time is right. This is the year the Big 12 is going to make some deep runs into the dance. And I think TCU is some good money to look at there. We got a comment. Who's dropping in the comments here? Kalen back. What do we got? Illinois.
Kalen likes those longer odds too, plus 1,300.
Kalen looking at those exhibition scores with the Illinois beating Kansas. Hey, Illinois beat Texas last year in the regular season. Look what that had.
I mean, they were
I don't mind
up
it.
top tier, right?
I don't mind it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind it. But guess what? Why is Xavier plus 1,200? What is happening?
Like, one of these things is not like the other, right? Like, what are they doing up there?
Is DK late to the party on these injuries in the front court? And all right. Anyway, sorry, Jay.
No, it's all right. I wouldn't. I think that's just as important sometimes to point out. Like, we've got some sweet picks there for Final Four runs, but sometimes you got to know which ones to just outright avoid. And I'm with you, man. Like
Xavier's got the fourth longest odds to win their conference. Like they're ahead of 3 teams for a Final Four that they are behind for the Big East, right? Like that's just a flat misprice. I don't know who's running that over a DK, but you need to get your game right.
Yeah, well, sorry to the Musketeer supporters, all of y'all that watch the One and Done on a regular basis. We appreciate y'all, but it's not where you.
Hey, Kalen's also back, Jay.
Like the others.
Hey, me and Eric, we were texting about this last night. Buying Jordan Gainey stock now, dude. You see
right now,
USC Upstate. Like the cat can score, he can handle. Tennessee's got some offensive weapons, which is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's again when you have
score 60.
Maybe no. I mean, honestly though, that's going to be so fun to watch. And again, just that nobody wants to play that team, and that's the kind of ball that you're willing to play. Then you get you where it gets you. I know I said there was one more there teams, but let's go to one more pick here, and it's an individual award. Of course, we're going to go to the Wooden Award. Look at some odds here for some Wooden Award candidates. And okay, this is for real the last time. We'll start with Mike. One more time here. Who are you looking at here for the Wooden Award?
Well, I called Duke to the Final Four. I'm going Kyle Filipowski plus 800. This guy is too talented. 15-9 last year. He wasn't even that efficient from the field. He didn't really show off that much shot blocking. There's a ton of upside there. And, of course, Duke's going to rack up a ton of wins and make a huge run, and he's going to be the face of the team. So, Eric, what you got?
Man, I'm shocked that you didn't jump all over that Klingon price at plus 1,800, how much you've been banging the drum for him. But, I mean, Filipowski, he certainly profiles well, and having a team that makes a deep run definitely helps a lot. I'm gonna go a little bit further down the board here. I like Armando Bacot at plus 1,600. Like, this is a guy that was on the ballot for this award previously, right? So he kind of has that pedigree and that name recognition, and he's out here on this redemption tour, right? Like we like to poke fun at UNC and how they went from first to worst over the course of last season, but when they started to heat up a little bit is when the ball was going through Armando Bacot. I wouldn't be surprised if they go right back to the well with that. And if they do it consistently this year, they could be a team that finishes inside the top 15, top 10 maybe, right? So, the key piece on a competitive team like that, Bacot's going to, potentially double in every single game this year. And just that price really jumps out. Like I'm jumping all over plus 1,600 for a guy that, was already in the conversation in his college career. Jay, close us out. You sticking up here towards the top? Do I need to go scroll down to some of these guys in the plus 10,000 range? Where are we going for the bookends?
You guys just living in the ACC these days? What is happening? Like, all the best basketball
East Coast bias,
in this
baby
country
girl.
is gonna apparently all the best basketball in this country is gonna be played west of the Mississippi River this year. And that's going to be led by, actually, is that West? Actually, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's going to
it
be
is.
out
It
West.
is.
No
Hunter
math.
Dickinson, what are we talking about here? He's going to do 18 and 10 every night in the Big 12. We're going to see,
He's 7'7" now.
He's still growing by all accounts. The reports are saying he may be 8'1" by the time the season starts. Hunter Dickinson is that guy. Like, yeah, if you're I know none of us are talking about Zach Edey, and I get it. Like, he's great. We understand it. But Kansas wins this conference like both of you jabronis think they will, and he's averaging 18 and 10 every single night at plus 900. He's got to be in that conversation no matter what. This is a great price. It's not like they have a ton of offensive weapons crawling around there. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of options. Hunter Dickinson, this might be one of the more historic seasons that we see in college basketball history out of Hunter Dickinson this year on his way to the Wooden Award. Thank you very much. Now, covered basically every conference again, not the Ivy League ever, but we covered so many conferences just there. Make sure you go back, watch all of the shows that we did coming into this season. All of them. It's evergreen. That talent, that content, I should say, the talent, right here, these guys, right? Yeah. But the content is evergreen. The conference preview stuff, you still got time to go hit those. Leave us a comment right now and let us know what's going on in your college basketball world as we wrap it up with some closing thoughts from my guy, Eric the Blue.
Man, the thing that drove me to some of these longer shots is, we spend all off season poring over the tape and looking at these rosters and, compiling how we think it's going to go. And without fail, there's always some surprises along the way, right? So if you're gonna lock your money up in the futures market for 6-7 months, you might as well make it worth your while. That's really my overarching thought for futures bets. But look, take a look at this board. This is going to continue to ebb and flow as we get closer to tip off, and there's value to be had, right? So get out there and attack it. If you have any questions on anything you see, get up in those comments. We'll be responding to them all the way up to tip off.
And now the captain's comments to close it up.
Well, since Eric basically just told you not to take any of my favorite bets, essentially, that I laid out this entire show, because you won't have any fun for 6 to 7 months, I will let you know that a lot of times, though, for the regular season stuff, right, this regular season conference championships, you don't see as much madness. But yeah, I think overall, right, like, you just got to try to find the best values and the hidden value. And it's going to be a fun season, guys. Like, I'm so excited. Jay, close us out, my guy.
I think we all had a nice mixture. When we put these shows together, to pull back the curtain here a little bit, it's like we just look at those odds, we take our pick, and we throw it into the sheet. And there wasn't a lot of overlap this time around, and I think that speaks a lot to where college basketball is, why it's just these conferences are wide open. College basketball in general is wide open. The FAU making a Final Four run. This is what college basketball is right now, and dipping a little bit into some bigger numbers there. St. John's plus 1,500, all dizzy. But also, taking a couple of favorites here and there and mixing it up. Have yourself a good time. And, of course, another way to have a good time is to show up on Sunday for our first DFS show of the season with two of the best in the business. He is the OG Money Mike, El Capitan himself, Mike Holland. He is Eric the Blue, the Barron & Brother Green Screens Media. I am the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens Media train, Jay Heinrich. Follow at The Real Napier on Twitter for our guy Chris. Follow at One and Done CVB, at Get Green Screens on X and TikTok. Do not miss it. Opening slate coming up on Monday. we got you covered here on One and Done. Tell somebody you love them, take care of yourself, and get this bread.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.